A report states that Spurs could be in the market for a new goalkeeper and Vicario could move on. Fabrizio Romano states that Thomas Frank is under pressure but has the back end of the board for now. Tottenham linked with two wingers for the January transfer window, which would revolutionise their front line, as well as see Brennan Johnson sold. And James Maddison speaks out on a dark time during his ACL recovery and why it's okay to talk. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, my name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below, and if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Okay, let's get into it. According to Team Talk, Tottenham are preparing for another busy transfer window, with head coach Thomas Frank prioritising the signing of a new goalkeeper. Spurs reportedly have concerns over Vicario's performances this season, as he has faced heavy criticism for recent errors and a lack of confidence between the posts. Ter Stegen could emerge as a viable option next month now that he has returned from injury, with Barcelona's head coach prioritising summer signing Joan Garcia in goal. With former Arsenal shot-stopper Wojciech Szczesny serving as deputy, Ter Stegen is very much a third-choice option for Flick and is reportedly available in January. Tottenham's emerging plans to sign a new goalkeeper could be boosted by Vicario's departure next year, with the Italian reportedly a target for clubs back in his home country. According to Give Me Sports senior correspondent Fabrizio Romano, the Danish tactician Thomas Frank is under growing pressure at Spurs, with internal talks ongoing to assess the situation amid the club's difficult first part of the season. While Frank insisted there's no quick fix to solve the slump in form, Romano says Tottenham chiefs are waiting to see results improve before making any decision on the manager. There are reportedly internal talks ongoing over the Dane's future, with Frank knowing that he must turn his fortunes around to avoid prematurely ending his time in North London. Romano has stated that there's pressure, there are internal talks, but still waiting to see improving results. Thomas Frank knows that the rhythm must change soon. Football Talk report that Tottenham Hotspur could reportedly revive their interest in signing Manchester City forward Savinho in the upcoming winter transfer window, as per transfer expert David Ornstein. Despite purchasing Mohamed Kudus from West Ham United last summer, the Lily Whites are planning to sign another wide forward. Antoine Semenyo of AFC Bournemouth was heavily linked with a move, but Savinho was on their radar as well. Now on Sky Sports Back Pages podcast, Ornstein says that Tottenham are planning to sign a new wide forward in January and money will be available to make the move happen. Semenyo remains on Spurs' radar, but this competition is fierce for his signature, as Manchester City, Liverpool and Man United are reportedly in the race as well. So Tottenham are also interested in Savinho, and although they failed to purchase him last time around, they could finally be able to secure his service next month. Ornstein said they'll have the opportunity to improve the squad in January transfer window. There will be money available if the right profile comes to them and if it will improve the team in their eyes. They like Semenyo, for example. If it's not going to be him, maybe some other players in that wide attacking position, which is something they looked at last summer with Savinho from Manchester City. It didn't come to fruition. Maybe it will in January, and they'll hope that Thomas Frank can bring the results over time. The 21-year-old, valued at around £39 million by Transfer Market, moved to the Etihad Stadium last year and has a contract until 2031, so the citizens are not in any rush to sell him next year. The Brazilian Brazilian enjoyed a promising debut campaign at Man City last term, making 12 goal contributions in all competitions. However, he has struggled to find regular game time this season, making only 4 Premier League starts. He has mostly played in cup competitions, scoring twice and notching up as many assists so far. Savinho is a left-footed, versatile forward. He is comfortable playing on either flank. He's quick, technically sound, can dribble past opposition defenders in tight areas, and is efficient in delivering excellent crosses from wide areas and works hard without possession. The South American is a highly talented player and could be a shrewd acquisition for Tottenham should they choose to purchase him. However, it's going to be interesting to see whether the North London club eventually manage to secure his services in January or next summer. Football.London report that Tottenham are facing a potentially busy January transfer window as the prospect of some sales and signings are on the cards in the next month. Among those who could make a move away from North London, however, includes Brennan Johnson, who has struggled for minutes under Thomas Frank. According to BBC Sport, Spurs are not actively looking to sell the Welsh international, but they are open to an exit if they receive the right offer. The report adds that Crystal Palace are among those with the most advanced interest in the 24-year-old, which may see a move made in January. It comes just over 2 years on from Tottenham signing Johnson from Notts Forest in a deal worth £47.5 million, where he quickly became a key player for Ange Postecoglou. Thomas Frank has only handed 6 Premier League starts to him so far this season, favouring other options ahead of him in the team. As a result, an exit could now follow, depending on the type of offer that Spurs are holding out for in the market. While Johnson's future is up in the air, Tottenham themselves face some challenges in the market. The winger's own transfer value has fallen to a new low since joining the club, dipping to £30 million on Transfermarkt's valuation tool. Tottenham Hotspur midfielder James Maddison has spoken candidly about the severe mental and emotional impact of the knee injury that has kept him sidelined for months, describing periods of depression and loss of motivation during his recovery. In an exclusive interview with ITV News, the 29-year-old revealed that rupturing his ACL during a pre-season match against Newcastle in August led to some dark times, including days when he struggled to get out of bed. Madison has not played since the injury and said the psychological toll has been just as significant as the physical pain. He explained that football is central to his identity and purpose, and being unable to play left him feeling lost and stuck, though his determination to return continues to drive him. Madison also addressed mental health in football, saying elite players do not talk about it enough. He noted the intense scrutiny footballers face, where speaking openly can attract criticism, yet staying silent can also draw judgment. Despite this, he stressed the importance of vulnerability, encouraging more open conversations and emphasising that talking often leads to help, whether emotional support or practical guidance. The interview took place during Madison's visit to the children's ward at the Princess Alexandra Hospital in Essex, where he handed out presents and spent time with young patients. He said the experience had helped him put his own injury into perspective, acknowledging that while his situation is serious, it does not compare to the illnesses faced by many of the children. Drawing on his own experiences with surgery, hospital visits and recovery, he said this could emphasise with the stress and uncertainty patients feel, and hoped his presence brought them some happiness. On the footballing front, Madison reflected on the impact of his injury on his international ambitions. With 7 England caps and a strong form last season, scoring 12 goals for Spurs, he felt he was close to establishing himself under New England manager Thomas Tuchel. However, realising he would miss most, if not all, of the season was crushing, and effectively ended his hopes of being selected for the upcoming World Cup in North America. He admitted this disappointment contributed to his mental struggles, but said he's focusing on returning safely, regaining fitness and smiling again on the pitch for Tottenham, even if that rules out World Cup participation. Madison also commented on the growing number of ACL injuries among Premier League players. While joking about his lack of biological expertise, he suggested the increasing intensity of elite football and the number of matches and player fatigue could be contributing factors. He acknowledged that injuries have always existed, but it may well be more visible now due to the demanding modern schedule. Despite concerns about player workload, Madison said he would never complain about playing football too much, emphasising that playing regularly is what players players dream of from childhood. However, he accepted that there must be a balance between opportunity and safety, especially as new competitions and tournaments are added to the calendar. Ultimately, he said the decisions about reducing workloads or fixtures lie beyond players' control, though monitoring injury trends is essential. Overall, Madison's interview highlighted the often hidden mental health struggles of injured athletes, the emotional cost of missing major career milestones, and the pressures of modern elite football, while underlying determination to return stronger both mentally and physically. Okay, here's my thoughts on all those stories today. Reports of a new goalkeeper. That'll be interesting. We spoke about Vicario before. Look, Vicario has, to be fair to Vicario, he's kept us in games this season. Monaco, for example, I can think of, is absolutely battered in that game, and Vicario kept the score down. He actually essentially won us. Well, he didn't win us that game, but he made sure we didn't lose. He's had some dodgy moments. You are going to get this with goalkeepers. And I think Vicario sometimes comes under unfair criticism, to be honest. I think he's a brilliant shot stopper, actually, one of the best in the league. But there's certain elements to his game that aren't quite there. Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Vicario been with us now for a few years, as we all know. So if he was to go, I think, look, you've got to bring in a very strong replacement. Liverpool many years ago, or a few years ago, identified the goalkeeping position was one that they needed to strengthen in along with centre-back, and they, of course, brought in Van Dijk and Alisson, and everybody said that was far too much money to pay for a goalkeeper. But you see what Alisson Becker's done for Liverpool, that's what you get. So, personally, I think this is something perhaps Spurs should readdress in the summer. I can't see Vicario going in January. You never know in football, of course, but I think there's other key areas in the pitch we need to address first, and one of those positions is something I'll come on to a bit later with this Savinho-Semenyo debate. Firstly, talk about Thomas Frank being under pressure. We kind of know this. We everybody knows this. We seem to have turned a little bit of a corner, and then it come crashing back down against Nottingham Forest, of course. So depending on how the game goes against Liverpool on Saturday, Thomas Frank could take a bit of pressure off himself, or he could be under even more pressure. So we won't know any more on that until the Liverpool game, but certainly we just want to see a performance as fans. We want to see a performance against Liverpool and want to see Spurs go out there and attack Liverpool and just try and win the game, actually show that we're actually trying to win the game rather than trying not to lose it. And the fans will get behind him, absolutely. Coming on to what I was talking about, Savinho and Semenyo. A lot of people were critical that I put Semenyo in. There was somebody commented, stop clickbaiting, stop talking about Semenyo, we're not getting Semenyo. I'm just saying what's in the press. We are 100% in for Semenyo. I've heard rumours that we're going to stick in a bid to unlock that transfer fee, that triggers it on the 1st of January. If it seems like the player would come to Spurs. Are we going to do it? Who knows if that's true. But again, showing ambition in the transfer market is just as important as showing ambition against Liverpool or any game for that matter. So come on, Spurs, get these players over the line, whoever it is, whether it be Semenyo or Savinho. I'd love both of them. Of course I would. I just can't see it happening. Could we go back in for Savinho in January? I doubt it with Jeremy Doku's injury. I would imagine Pep wants to hold on to Savinho. It could be one for the summer. I don't think that one's dead quite yet. Yes, he signed a new deal, but we're definitely still interested in Savinho, but I can't see him coming in January. That's more surely for the summer. Could mean Brendan Johnson going the other way. Tinged with sadness in Brendan Johnson. Again, I think he gets a bit of unfair stick. Our top scorer last season hadn't really had a run in the team under Thomas Frank. All a bit weird, actually. I personally would have liked to see Johnson get a few more minutes. As I say, he's got this knack of scoring goals. Not a bad knack to have. I know he's got flaws in his game, but surely a couple of times, could you not put Kudus on the left and put Johnson on the right in his best position and see what he can do? We've been struggling to score goals. So surely you bring in Brendan Johnson and play him in his preferred position, but I'm not the manager. What do I know? And finally, the Madison interview. Go and have a look at it. If you just search for it on Google it, ITV James Madison, the interview comes up and you can have a read of it there, or you can actually watch the interview as well. Really good. Typical from James Maddison, very candid, very honest, and open interview, talking about player struggles, from talking about his, England disappointment, obviously for the World Cup as well. But having done the ACL myself, I've done it twice. It's horrendous. The recovery is horrendous. It really takes its toll. And, I'm not a professional athlete and never was, but somebody like Madison, look, the injury's the injury. It's exactly the same. You get the same repair done on the knee as a professional footballer. Obviously, they get better after op care and they're in the gym all day, when normal park footballers like myself, you have to go through it yourself. In many ways, that's essentially harder because you're not getting that support most of the time. You get physio twice a week and that's it. So for Madison to be speaking about this, having been through it, it is horrendous. I'm sure there's people watching this video that have had ACL reconstructions. It's a long road back. Seeing him in the gym and on his YouTube channel, the latest videos, he seems to be progressing well. But I do like this interview from James Maddison, really open and honest interview, as you would expect with James Maddison. So go and watch it or go and have a read of it. It's really, really good, and really good to see him at the Children's Hospital as well. That will hopefully make their day and make their lives a bit easier and better. Well, get down in the comments, let me know your thoughts of anything Spurs related or any of these stories today, and how you're feeling right now as a Tottenham Hotspur fan. And as always, come on you Spurs.